Hi, hope you are doing well. This is SS Jana. Welcome to Materials Horizons. Today we will solve some problems related to electronic properties of materials, mainly based on free electron theory. So these are beneficial for undergraduate student of metallurgy and material science, and also beneficial for other branches like electronics, mechanical, physics, etc. It is also helpful for competitive exams like GATE. So today I will also talk little bit about theories while solving problems. So without wasting further time, let's solve some problems. So it is the first problem. So at 0 Kelvin, probability of finding an electron at energy level E is unity. When? So we have to find the conditions while the occupation probability is unity. So highest field energy at 0 Kelvin is Fermi energy, that we already know, given by EF. Electron is Fermions, so it is most obvious, it follows Fermi-Dirac statistics. Hence the occupation probability can be given by this equation, E minus EF by KBT. KBT or KT, whatever. I sometimes prefer to write KB. So by this equation, if we plot the probability function at 0 Kelvin, it will be like this. At Fermi energy, it becomes 0, right? Above Fermi energy, it becomes 0. Below Fermi energy, it is unity. Okay. So by that equation, we can find this. But if you increase the temperature, it will come like this. More increase, it will come like more flat. So it is suppose T2, it is T1, and this is 0 Kelvin. Then we can easily write T2 greater than T1 greater than 0 Kelvin. So we can easily find that by this 0 Kelvin, because the problem was at 0 Kelvin. So the unity is below EF. So it may be E less than EF, it may be E less than EF. So these two answer. Okay. Let's go to the second problem. The probability of occupation of an energy level E when E minus EF equal to KT is given by this. So here also similarly, like the first problem, we will first write the probability of occupation. So it is better to remember this formula, because we will use it quite a lot. So it is given that E minus EF is KT or KBT. So we will put it here. Then we can write exponential. This is 1, right? This is 1. So it means 2.7 around this value. So ultimately it will come 0.27. So the answer B is correct. Okay. So obviously this is T greater than 0 Kelvin, because at 0 Kelvin above Fermi energy there is we cannot find the electrons. So let's go to the third problem. Third problem, here we have the probability of finding a free electron in Ag at 300 Kelvin at energy level. This is given by, okay. So here also we have to find probability of finding free electron. So we have to again find PE. So let's find it. Again we will write first. So if you write it again and again, then you can easily remember this formula. So here E is given by, suppose EF I am writing 1.01 EF minus EF, so it will be like 0.01 EF. Okay, so if we simply put it in the equation, so 1 plus exponential 0.01 into 5.5. so sometimes it's better to remember the Boltzmann constant in electron volt. It is given most of the time, but still for ease of solution. Okay, so ultimately it will come like e to the power 2.13. I have calculated it already, so it will come like, sorry, it will come like 0.1. so we have it in A. If it is in percentage, then we will simply multiply it by 100. Okay, easy. So we will go to number 4. So here, if Fermi energy of silver is 5.5 electrons, so EF is 5.5 electron volt. We can simply make it in joule, 5.5 into 1.6 10 to the power minus 19. This is charge of single electron. So it is better to remember this one, 1.6 10 to the power minus 19. Anyway, so this wave number is given by K, we know. Fastest electron 0 Kelvin magnitude. So I don't need to see everything. So here what they want wave number, right? So we know by free electron theory E equal to h cut square k square by 2m, and h cut is h by 2 pi, right? And we know k is also equal to 2 pi by lambda. However, this is not required here because they are not asking this. If electron has a wave property, so that's why wave number is coming. So by putting this, we have, by putting this one, we have h square by 4 pi square into k square by 2m. Okay, next we have equal to h square k square by 8 pi square into m. So we can have the k value because at last we want the k, right? So this will be 8 pi square m into E by h square, and this is equal to, just simplify it, 2me. And if we put the value of everything, like here h is equal to, just we will put here 6.626 into 10 to the minus 34. It is better to remember, or else sometimes it is given. This is just Planck's constant, and m, similarly m value is 9.11 10 to the power minus 31 kg, and E we have already written here. So if we put, so this is in Fermi energy. Okay, so ultimately what we have, if we put all the values, we will have k equal to 1.19 into 10 to the power 10. Obviously B causes about unit, so wave number meter, because everything we have put in SI, so it will be meter inverse. So we will see which value is close to it. 1.19 means it's close to 1.2, so the correct value is 2D, right? So let's move to the next problem, problem number 5. The acceleration of a free electron in an electric field. The force experienced by a electron is given by E into E. E is the applied field into E, sorry, E is the electrical charge. But in classical mechanics or Newtonian mechanics, we can also write it, if I consider electron as a particle of mass m, then we can write it m into a, that is acceleration. So if we equate these two, then we can find, sorry, a equal to E into E divided by m. Just putting the values here, 100, because we have 100 volt per meter, into electron charge, we know 10 to the minus 19, divided by electron mass. It is better to remember those things like electron mass, electron charge, Planck's constant, because they are helpful in many cases. Sometimes it's not given anyway, so we can calculate it. And we can find 1.7 into 10 to the power 13 meter per second square. So 1.7. So this will be answer A. Let's move to the problem 6. The Fermi level of depends on the length of linear solid. So Fermi level is actually a energy level. So that is the highest energy level occupied by by electron at 0 Kelvin. So there is no dependence of length of the solid, so at least at the bulk level. So that is why it is completely independent on L. Okay. So then problem 7, the collision time of electron scattering in pure Ag, where the EF is like this. Okay, so at 300 Kelvin is 10 to the power minus 14 second. The mean free path of electron is, so we have to find the mean free path. So before that, I will just talk here a little bit. See, the collision time they are given. Collision time means electrons are colliding, right? So electron is colliding with what? So at at lower temperature, near 0 Kelvin. So what will happen? So as the temperature is increased above 0 Kelvin, the phonon modes are activated. Lattice vibration. This lattice vibration, this quantum of lattice vibration is called the phonon. So above 0 Kelvin, lattice vibrations are generated, and that produces phonons. Quantum of lattice vibration is called phonon. So this phonon will scatter electron. Okay. So that's why roughly we can say at lower temperature resistance varies T cube. T is temperature. Resistance increases with temperature. Okay, as the more scattering happens. So so between two collisions, average time between two collision is given by tau, that is relaxation time. Similar like gas molecules in a box. So this tau is given here 10 to the power minus 14 second, and T is 300 Kelvin, and EF is 5.5 electron volt. We can convert it in joule. So what they want? They want mean free path. So mean free path means the distance covered by an electron between two collisions. Okay, so between two collision time is tau. So if we multiply it by its drift velocity or velocity, then we can find the mean free path. So we need the mainly velocity, right? How will I get? So we know that energy is half mv square by classical mechanics. V is the velocity, m is the mass of the electron, and E is energy. So most of the electrons which are in Fermi energy will take part in conduction. So, they will move. So, that is why this energy we will put as EF, right. So, V is actually 2E by M. Again we will put the values, 2 into 5.5 and convert it in joule. So, 1.6 10 to the power minus 19, that is coulomb. I mean this is the charge of an electron, and the mass of electron 9.11 10 to the power minus 31 kg. So, ultimately it will come meter per second. So, if you calculate, so it will come 1.38 into 10 to the power 6 meter per second. It is not yet done. So, we got the Vd or drift velocity. So, if we want to have the mean free path, that is this drift velocity into tau. So, this drift velocity is 1.38 into 10 to the power 6 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 14. So, ultimately it will come 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 8 meter. See which answer we are close to. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So, answer C is correct, right. So, let us go to problem 8. The collision time for electron scattering is in copper is 10 to the minus 9 second. So, here again tau is given at 4 Kelvin. The conductivity of copper in units of ohm inverse. Ohm inverse means actually Siemens, sometimes Siemens are given. Okay. So, density of copper is given. Okay. So, tau is 10 to the minus 9 second, 4 Kelvin. This is not required, I guess. So, density I am putting it like D density 8960 kg per meter cube. I put everything in SI always. So, by Drude's model, sigma equal to, sigma is electrical conductivity, this is electron concentration, E square carrier concentration, here electron we are putting by mass, right. So, we do not know actually N. Okay. So, because they are asking the conductivity, so we are putting conductivity N E square tau by M, and here we do not have N, but rest is given. So, for N, how will I get N? So, the catch is this density. Okay. So, what will happen? So, we assume that copper is giving one electron, one valence electron to the conduction mechanism. So, ultimately, so one mechanism means for each mole they are giving Avogadro number of electrons, but if we consider each kg or by each gram whatever, so that is for that we have to divide it by molecular mass of copper. Then, but ultimately here actually this N is per unit volume, I mean in SI per meter cube. So, that is why we have to multiply it with density of copper, this one, right. So, by this trick actually we can get what is the number of electrons, right. So, or electron concentration per unit volume meter cube, and M of copper is 63.54, it is in gram per mole. So, ultimately we have to change it in SI, so that will be 06354, right. So, let us put the value here, N equal to 6.023 Avogadro number, this is just simply Avogadro number 10 to the power 23 into 8960 divided by 0.06354. So, it will come like 8.49 into 10 to the power 28 per meter cube. Okay. we have to just simply put in the conduction. So what we have written in the root formula, n e square tau by m. So here we will simply put this 49 10 to the power 28 into electron charge, that is 1.6 10 to the power minus 19 whole square into 10 to the power minus 9, tau is 9, right, and then 9.11 10 to the power minus 31 kg, sorry. So what will come, 2.38, I have calculated it already. So that is in ohm inverse meter inverse. So it is close to which answer, 2.38. Yeah, so the first answer. So the answer will be A. Okay, let's move to the 9. What is it? So 9 is like the electrical resistivity of pure silver near 0 Kelvin. Okay, so we know that I have already told that above 0 Kelvin the lattice vibration increases, I mean phonon modes are generated, so ultimately the electrons are scattered and electrical conductivity reduces. It means electrical resistivity increases with temperature, resistivity increases, suppose with cubic, so it will be like that. So this is resistivity with temperature at lower temperature region. So at near 0 Kelvin, so it will be very low but obviously measurable, very low but can be measured, this one. So it will be B, not 0, it will have certain values because of that lattice vibration. Okay, so let's go to number 10. Calculate the mobility of electron in copper. The resistivity of copper is 1.7. okay, so density is like that, again density is given here. That means that thing we have to do, I guess. Assume each copper atom donates one valence electron. See here, each copper atom donates one valence, here it is given, but the previous problem it was not given, so we have to assume in that case, right? Okay, so first of all the mobility we know, so mobility we have to define. So what is mobility? First of all, the mobility is actually ability of electron to move. Here for electron we are considering, so that's why electron I am writing. So this mobility is given by, sorry, mu is given by V by E, velocity of electron, here everything electron, so I am writing here always electron, and E is the electric field. So it can be defined in other way also, velocity at unit electric field. Okay, velocity achieved at unit electric field, like that. So first of all we have to get the mobility. So for that, conductivity sigma is n e mu. Mu is mobility, n is the electron concentration. So now this sigma is again 1 by rho. So mobility is 1 by rho n into E. Okay. By the way, what is this n? Electron concentrations. Like the previous problem, again n has to be calculated like Avogadro number by molecular mass into density, right? So by putting all the values here, we have the values of density 163.5, like that. Avogadro number we know, so ultimately we will get 8.49 into 10 to the 28, right, like the earlier problem, exactly same. So per meter cube, and we have to just simply put here this rho value 1.72 into 10 to the power minus 8 into 8.49 into 10 to the power 28 into again electron charge 10 to the power minus 19, and everything I am putting in SI unit. So ultimately we will have 0.0428 meters square per second. Yeah, careful about the unit, meter square per second, right? But here we are seeing that these are in centimeters, so let's convert in centimeter. It will be like 42.8 centimeters per second. So it is in, yeah, so it is close, so point C, right? Yeah, so value C. So let's move to the number 11. Yeah, so calculate the drift velocity of electrons in copper and current density in wire. So there is a wire which has some cross section. We have to calculate that, right? So ultimately again, so calculate the drift velocity of electrons in copper and current density in wire of diameter. So calculate the drift velocity of electrons and current density. Where is, okay, so current density we have to get along with drift velocities. So ultimately what will happen, J is the current density, that is NEVD, and so because of the collisions again and again the velocity of electron drops, then again it achieves drift velocity, again drops, and between these two collisions this time is tau. We have mentioned earlier, no, it is just clear idea, clear graphical idea, right? So here J is again we know I by A, and A is cross section. I is given 5 ampere and this A is pi d square by 4 because it is a cylindrical. So we will have 1.59 into 10 to the power 6 ampere per meter square. So we have got the J, that is current density, and what is the drift velocity? Drift velocity we will get from here, because J equal to NE Vd, so Vd equal to J by Ne, right? Just put the value 1.59 10 to the power 6 divided by N. In place of N, what we put in place of N? Again this N is given here, right? So 8 into 10 to the power 28 1.6 minus 19. Okay, so it will come around okay. So this is the drift velocity. So this was the last problem. So that's all for today. Hope it helped you, and I have also planning of bringing some other videos on this, on the theories and also other problems. And thank you for watching it, and do subscribe if you like the video, and thank you, see you.